Well. What a journey we've been on since we last met. In this video, I'm going to go on the current economic events that are going on, the world events, and what has happened in the past 6 months has been crazy. Please like, subscribe, comment below your thoughts. Let's get into the video. So I made a video about 6 months ago talking about how the stock market and the real economy has gotten so out of link. And at the time I thought it couldn't get any more out of link and out of connect. Well, the stock market and the economy are in two different worlds now. In the past 6 months, we've had the Rona, and it literally has put the world on hold. Stock markets have crashed and then had huge gains. Real estate is starting to drop. Rents are starting to drop because people are moving with their parents. Companies have closed. Unemployment has gone through the roof. And the share market has gone on the biggest bear market rally in history. How does this all happen? Well, it all started in February and March. I heard of this Rona, which I cannot pronounce because YouTube will demonetize this video, even though I'm not even monetized. And I was watching in amazement the stock market collapsing, and I was getting excited. I was like, yes, I missed out on the 2008 stock market crash where people got in and brought the dip and they made huge gains and they brought cheap houses. This is my time to shine. Yes, let's go. This is the opportunity I've been waiting for. Well. I missed it. As soon as it dropped 30, 40%, I thought, no way. We're heading for a depression. It's going to be worse than 2008. So at least the stock market has to crash 55, 60%. Then I'll think about coming in. Well, the stock market only crashed about 35%. And then it went on the biggest bear market rally in history. And I missed out. And now I'm FOMOing bad. So, now I'm sitting here waiting. What do? Do I buy in now and hope that central banks get that money printed on? Or do I wait for the second crash once all the economic data and the real pain hits? To be honest, I have no idea what happens. But a lot of investors are saying the stock market right now is the most overvalued it's ever been. And it seems like the best way to invest your money now is by a bankrupt company like Hertz, which has gone up 500% since it went bankrupt. It's starting to sound a lot like the 2000s and 1929 when the retail investors were making a killing and quitting their jobs. But that was just before the big crash came. And really, what has caused this big market run-up is the central banks pretty much saying they'll do whatever it takes to support the economy, aka inflate asset prices, and all the companies will get their bailouts and then they'll just sack everybody anyways. And plus a lot of governments have borrowed huge amounts of money and give stimulus checks to people, and banks have said, that's alright, you don't need to pay your mortgage, all good. And they've pretty much done what they've always done, kicked the can down the road for another Prime Minister or President to deal with. So the central bank has started QE again. They've started buying corporate bonds. They're buying mortgage-backed securities. And they're now buying individual corporate bonds so they can cherry pick which companies survive and which companies die. And here in Australia, they've started quantitative easing. So they've started buying corporate bonds and they are giving cheap loans to banks so that they can give ultra cheap mortgage rates. I've seen a mortgage rate at 2.09%. When you factor in inflation, that's pretty much free money. Also, you can now get margin loans at 3.8%. And when you factor in the tax write-offs, depending on your tax bracket, that's an effective interest rate of 2.2, 2.3% when you get the tax write-offs. So they're pretty much giving everybody free money to go and buy assets, and they're pretty much saying, take on all the risk, because at the end of the day, mummy and daddy central bank will be here to bail you out. Now, what my concern is, this will create the biggest wealth inequality there has been in a long time. Pretty much all this stimulus, all these bailouts have benefited those who have assets, and in America, they said people earning under $40,000 a year, 40% of those lost their jobs. So the poor, the average punter like myself, we're not seeing the money. But how can we take advantage of this situation to get ahead? Well, I've got a bit of cash waiting there, thinking, do I buy now and hope that the central banks do more QE and print more money and go negative interest rates, start buying stocks directly just like they've started buying corporate bonds directly and risk it? Or will there be another stock market crash once all the earnings come out in a few months, once all the mortgage holidays are finished, and once all the government stimulus is done? Well, to be honest, I have no idea. What I'm planning to do is work my ass off. I'm smashing overtime at work at the moment. I did 70 hours last week. I'm pretty stuffed. I'm doing everything I can to position myself that when the opportunity comes, I'm going to pounce. I'm also investigating getting a margin loan. So pretty much what that means is you have $10,000 to invest. On approved securities, you can borrow $30,000. So if there was a big stock market crash like 50%, I could then leverage into that and take advantage of that more and potentially make some huge sweet gains like it's happened, or potentially go bankrupt and hate my life. Well, who knows what will happen with unemployment getting so high, central banks printing money, no one knows. But what we can all bet on is investing consistently over the long term, you will come ahead. And what we've learned from history is whenever there's a crisis, the central banks will bail out assets and you will be okay in the long run. So what we should probably do, this is not financial advice, I'm just some random guy on YouTube talking about economics because I have no life, is start investing for the long term. If you have high interest debt, pay that off before you invest, and have an emergency fund before you invest. I'm going to be making more videos on economic topics coming ahead. Please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.